Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
An inmate who escaped from a Nelsonville prison is still at large. Good evening. I'm Sean Neidig. Thanks for joining us. One of the busiest intersections in Athens may be undergoing some construction over the next 2 summers. Clay Benjamin joins us live from East State Street. And Clay, it looks pretty busy out there.
Sean, this East State Street and Route 33 intersection sees nearly 30,000 cars a day and has been a concern for Athens drivers for several years. But over the next 2 summers, this intersection is going to get some much-needed renovations. The changes this summer will be the resurfacing of East State Street, and that will begin after July 1st and aims to be finished before the students return to school in the fall. A sidewalk will also be placed on the south side of East State Street, starting at the Athens Community Pool and extending all the way to the Lowe's intersection.
There continue to be frequent crashes right down the street from my home and the community center because folks are traveling at a high rate of speed and ignoring stoplights.
Sean, this project has been talked about for the last couple of years with the goal of turning East State Street into a complete street and increasing the safety for bikers and pedestrians. The off-ramps coming off 33 onto East State Street will undergo renovations in the summer of 2018 to give Athens residents plenty of time to understand the changes. Reporting live from East State Street, I'm Clay Benjamin.
All right, thanks a lot, Clay. Nearly 1 in 5 Athens middle school students have been harassed by college students on their way to or from school. That number is from a survey by a member of the Facilities Steering Committee considering the future of the Uptown School. The steering committee is continuing to meet to decide what to do with the aging West State Street School. The committee has discussed 3 options for the future of the school and decided to meet again before formalizing a recommendation to the school board. And one inmate who escaped from SEPTA Correctional Facility in Nelsonville has been caught, but another is still at large. Leonard Lowry was taken into custody in Parkersburg around 10:15 this morning. 24-year-old Zachariah Spires is still on the run and was last seen in the Parkersburg area. He is not considered to be dangerous to the public. The 2 men escaped from SEPTA on Sunday night by crawling under a fence in a recreation area. 3 Hocking College students were indicted yesterday by an Athens grand jury on robbery charges. The municipal court charges claim that Dylan Biggs robbed a man at gunpoint in a Hocking College Hall parking lot. Javante Henry was accused of assisting Biggs as the getaway driver, and Shimon Halbert was accused of being in the getaway car. Police searched the 3 students' dorms, but nothing was seized. Biggs and Henry are in Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail, but Halbert posted bond. Arraignments have been scheduled next week in Athens County Common Pleas Court. The Kentucky House approved the expansion of the state's hate crime law to include crimes against police officers and early responders. The bill applies to police, firefighters, and emergency medical crews. This makes them a protected class under a law that deals with crimes motivated by race, religion, sexual orientation, or nationality. Opponents of the bill say that police officers are already protected. The bill is now being sent to the Senate for a vote. And last night, the Huntington City Council voted 9-2 against a proposal to use the city's rainy day fund to close the more than $2 million budget gap. In addition to rejecting the proposal, the city also laid off firefighters and police officers. Mayor Stephen Williams and the City Council have received heavy blowback from community members. Protesters gathered outside of City Hall last night to demand that the funds be used and for the council to reconsider the layoffs. However, Mayor Williams stated that the use of the rainy day fund would not be enough to save jobs. DuPont and Chemours will pay more than $600 million in settlements they are facing. This followed the release of a chemical from a plant in West Virginia more than a decade ago. DuPont allegedly dumped C8 acid into the Ohio River. This contaminated local water, causing illness, disease, and even cancer.
Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Jenny Gracky. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Today was wonderful. We had highs around the low 50s, but as the sun sets, we will see the temperature currently is around 45 degrees under cloudy skies with winds out of the southwest at 10 miles an hour. Looking around the region, we can see that temperatures are around upper to mid 40s with 48 in Cambridge in Newark with 50 in Ironton. That's pretty warm. As we go through the night, we will see temps at 8 o'clock be 41 degrees, 37 at midnight, and reaching 34 degrees by 4 a.m. Clouds will start to decrease as we go through the night, but if you plan on going out on a date night or just staying in, it will be a great night. You might need the heavier jacket, but otherwise it's going to be a great night.
All right, thanks a lot, Jenny. A proposal to recognize astronaut and politician John Glenn's birthplace in Ohio was rejected. A New York grad student submitted the proposal, but state officials said that Glenn's home in New Concord was a better candidate than the one in Cambridge, Ohio. Glenn moved from New Concord to Cambridge when he was 2 years old. The proposal is still asking for a statue, signs, and historical markers. In California, crews are doing their best to evacuate locals and contain an overflowing dam. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigns his position. But did the president have prior knowledge of Flynn's talks with Russia? These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming. It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is. The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
Just weeks into the job, President Trump's administration takes a hit. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has resigned after questions about his contacts with Russia. Kristen Holmes has more.
President Trump's embattled national security advisor is out.
The evolving and eroding level of trust as a result of this situation and a series of other questionable instances is what led the president to ask for General Flynn's resignation.
After revelations he misled Vice President Pence and other White House officials about a conversation with the Russian ambassador concerning U.S. sanctions against Russia before President Trump took office. The vice president then vouching for Flynn on national television.
Those conversations that happened to occur around the time that the United States took action to expel diplomats had nothing whatsoever to do with those sanctions.
Evidence emerging today reports the Justice Department warned the White House last month that sanctions were raised during that conversation and Flynn could be vulnerable to Russian blackmail.
Immediately after the Department of Justice notified the White House counsel of the situation, the White House counsel briefed the president and a small group of his senior advisors.
Yet Trump saying this while the controversy was unfolding Friday.
I don't know about it. I haven't seen it.
The White House attempting to clarify his answer today.
What he was asked specifically is, was he aware of a Washington Post story? He hadn't seen that at the time.
Lawmakers on both sides now calling for an investigation.
There are tons of questions here. We need a thorough investigation.
And I want to know, did General Flynn do this by himself or was directed by somebody to do it?
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
The law that Flynn may have violated is the Logan Act, which bans private citizens from negotiating with foreign governments about disputes or controversies involving the U.S. In Northern California, crews are still working to shore up a damaged spillway at the Oroville Dam. The spillway was intended to help release overflowing water from the lake, but has ended up spurring erosion that has threatened the whole structure. But for now, the dam and the spillway is holding, and the catastrophic flooding officials fear it has not happened. Scott McLean has more.
Crews in Northern California working to repair damage to spillways at the Oroville Dam. So far, it's holding and water levels are dropping. Crews have been dropping boulders at the site in hopes they'll provide erosion protection and shore up the structure.
It's more a numbers game. The more rock, the more just general mass we can fill in those holes, the better.
With these rocks going in place, the risk factor is reduced. Not eliminated, but it is reduced.
A massive hole opened in the dam's concrete spillway, and rushing water eroded the hillside below the emergency spillway, forcing the evacuation of nearly 200,000 people. But not everyone left.
No, I have family that lives farther up and outside of town, so if anything were to happen, we would just slide that direction.
Governor Jerry Brown has asked for federal assistance, though he's still waiting for a response from the president. The mandatory evacuation order has not been lifted, but many residents say they're content to wait until they know the dam is safe.
Whatever they need to do, they need to make sure it's right so we're safe, so we don't have to repeat this in a couple of days when the next storm hits.
We're kind of on the safe side. We won't go back until they tell us it's safe.
In Oroville, California, I'm Scott McLean.
Yeah, more storms are expected in the region later this week, so hopefully crews are able to get a lot done and get those holes filled until then, before those storms hit. And on Wall Street today, most stocks trended up, but some did fall. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. Another Ohio child has lost his life to flu-like symptoms. That story is still ahead.
Plus, are warm temperatures here to stay, and are we in for another pleasant weekend? That, plus your extended forecast, next on Newswatch.
Teachers really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Jenny Grecki. Today we saw highs around the mid-low 50s with sunny skies, and it felt great. Currently here in Athens, we are at 45 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with winds out of the southwest at 10 miles an hour. Looking around the region, we can see pretty similar temps with 48 up in Newark and Cambridge, as well down here in Ripley with 50 degrees here in Ironton. That's awesome. We officially hit a high of 51 today here in Athens with a low of 25. So we were well above average, and it seems like February is trending the same way January did. And right now it doesn't look like it's about to change, but I will get to that later on in the show. As we go throughout the night, we will see temps dip down into the mid-30s, 41 here at 8 p.m., 37 at midnight, and 34 at 4 a.m. under mostly cloudy skies. We will hit a low around 31 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy. Towards the northern regions, like around Columbus and Newark, there is a 20% chance of snow, but it's not big, so don't count on a snow day or anything for tomorrow. Overnight lows, we will see 35 down here in Ironton, 36 up in Ripley, and in our northern counties, we can see 30s across the board. That's where they will see the potential of snow. The snow will come from the cold front that is dipping down from this low pressure that is over the Great Lakes currently. And once the cold front comes through tomorrow morning, like early, like around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, the northern part will see potential snow, but down here in southern Ohio, we will see clear skies. The skies will clear up as we go through the day, but looking at the bus stop, we see around 32 degrees, so you will need that jacket as you go to the bus stop tomorrow. Going throughout the day, we see we will warm up to around 40, which, yes, it is cooler than it was today, but that's right around where we're supposed to be, even though it may still be a little above average with partly, mostly cloudy skies. Clouds will be decreasing as we go through the day, and we will hit a high of around 41 degrees. Winds will pick up throughout the day due to that warm front coming through, but mostly we will be at winds at 10 to 15, could gust up to 20 miles an hour. Looking around the region as our highs tomorrow, we can see the northern counties will be cooler, and as we go through and go south, we will see 45 in Ironton, 43 in Ripley under mostly cloudy skies. For the week ahead, no chance of snow, rain, or precip. Once that cold front comes through tomorrow morning, we will be a little cooler on Thursday, but we will start to warm up once again for our weekend. So if you want to go out and enjoy the weekend, please do. You will be in the mid to upper 60s Saturday, Sunday with almost 70 by Monday. That's a pretty good weekend to me, don't you think, Sean?
Yeah, definitely. It sounds perfect. It looks beautiful. Thanks, Jenny. And although it may not feel like it, you still have to be careful of the weather out there. It is February, and in the past 3 weeks, flu-related symptoms have claimed the lives of 3 children in Ohio. That number rose to 4 after this past weekend when a 7-year-old boy in Columbiana County passed. Tyler Trill talked to health officials to see if they have any major concerns about the flu going forward.
The Center for Disease Control says flu activity throughout the U.S. has been spiking, but health officials don't believe this year's strain is any more severe than those in the past.
In the vaccine, there's 3 strands that they're protecting against. And every year, there's professionals that decide what's going to be the most virulent.
Cowan confirms Colton Williams of East Liverpool, a first grader at North Elementary, was diagnosed with the flu, but his cause of death won't be determined until the county coroner finishes an autopsy report. Health officials say there's no shortage of the flu vaccine in East Liverpool or Columbiana County. Family doctors here in Columbiana County say they haven't had to treat the flu any differently this year either.
We're seeing a lot of it. We tested here in our office, and there's a flu A strain and there's a flu B strain. And the flu shot, it seems like it's been doing, okay as far as covering this year's flu.
This would be Columbiana County's second child to die from the flu in 2017. A 6-year-old boy in Salem died during the later part of January. The Columbiana County Health Department says flu-related hospitalizations are up, but they don't see an outbreak condition.
We handle the epidemiology to look at the broader picture of disease occurrence in the county. At this point, there does not appear to be any connection between these two cases.
The Ohio Department of Public Health is currently urging people to get their flu shots. This flu season, more than 2,000 people have been hospitalized, and children under the age of 5 hold the greatest risk.
Hello and happy Valentine's Day to all our viewers out there. I'm Corbin Bagford, and in sports today, we have some high school postseason hoops and a preview of a potential revenge game for the Bobcats. All that and more after the break, but stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric 3 II, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at Junior_3. As always, I'm Eric 3 II, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
Welcome back, I'm Corbin Bagford. When the Ohio Bobcats hosted Eastern Michigan on January 14th, their season outlook was completely different. The Cats entered the game fresh off 3 straight Mid-American Conference wins, 2 being blowouts, but then disaster struck. 3 minutes into the game, reigning MAC Player of the Year Tony Campbell went down with a foot injury that effectively ended his season. Ohio seemed shook on the court and put up a season-low 49 points in a 4-point loss to the Eagles. Since then, Ohio has played .500 basketball, but to win tonight, the Bobcats will have to slow down EMU's James Thompson IV. Thompson averages a double-double of 14 points and 11 boards a game. Tip-off in Ypsilanti is set for 7. The basketball team is up north, but the golf teams are in warmer and probably sunnier conditions in Florida. The Ohio men's golf team wrapped up play today at the Earl Yestingmeyer match play at the Lake Jovita Country Club in Dade City, Florida. In the Bobcats action, they fell to top-seeded Eastern Michigan in the 5th place matchup today. Ohio sophomore Michael Kenny was the lone Bobcat to grab a win. He outlasted the Eagles' Joey Kremer after 18 holes. And the women's golf team is an hour south from there in Bradenton, Florida at the Mid-American Match Play. The Cats split their matchups yesterday, including a first-round sweep of Bowling Green. Today, the Cats were taking on second-seeded Western Michigan. The Ohio softball team is off to a 4-1 start themselves after a solid performance this weekend at the Carolina Classic, and pitcher Savannah Dorsey is a big reason why. Today, Dorsey was named MAC East Pitcher of the Week after going 3-0 over the weekend. Dorsey allowed just 3 runs in those 3 games. All the runs came in 1 inning. In 2 of her 3 starts, she allowed no runs and just 1 hit. And the Blue Jackets hosted the Rangers last night. New York chasing the Jackets for 3rd place in the Metro Division. Columbus grabbed a 1-0 lead in the first period thanks to a goal from Brandon Dubinsky, but that lead wouldn't hold. A 3rd period goal from Nick Foligno wasn't enough for Columbus. The Rangers scored 2 goals in the 3rd period to top the Jackets 3-2. The Blue Jackets are nearing the postseason, but for girls high school hoops, that's already come. OHSAA tournament action began last night. 8th-seeded Trimble topped St. Joseph by 11, 37-26, and the Athens Lady Bulldogs came close but didn't have enough to top Gallia Academy. The Blue Angels' Janelle Stevens hit the go-ahead layup with 6 seconds remaining to end Athens' season. And the boys' seasons are coming to a close as well. The Trimble Tomcats are 2nd in the TVC Hawking this season and face a familiar matchup in Wahama. Trimble topped the Wahama by 17 in their first showdown. Miller travels to Reedsville to take on the Eastern Eagles, and Southern is on the road in the hopes of handing Waterford its first conference loss. And the Cavaliers are in Minneapolis tonight to take on the Timberwolves. Cleveland and Minnesota last squared off just 13 days ago. The Cavs won that one by 28, and that was on February 1st. In the month of February, Cleveland has lost just 1 game, and that was when Cleveland chose to rest LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Well, those two will be without the 3rd head of the Cavs monster for some time. Kevin Love had surgery today on his left knee and will miss around 6 weeks. Love is averaging 20 points and 11 boards per game this season. That'll be a big obstacle for the Cavs to overcome, but they are the reigning champs. We'll see how they can do it. That's all for sports. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah, and if you don't have a sweetheart for Valentine's Day, don't worry. One Wisconsin bakery has you covered. At Tamara's The Cake Guru in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, they're making cookies with special messages for singles. The phrases include love stinks, Netflix is my love, and other funny sayings. They say it's catered to people that might not be a fan of the holiday. Whether you're a fan of Valentine's Day or not, it's hard not to be a fan of those sweets. Now over to you for some final weather, Jenny.
Thank you. Those cookies actually look pretty good. I wouldn't mind trying one. Tonight, we will end Valentine's Day around 31 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. The northern region may see a few snow showers, but maybe not, so it's not good enough for a snow day. We do see winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but when we go into tomorrow, we see wind shift because a cold front will come through, which will be the reason why we have a high around 41 degrees, which was cooler than today. As we go through the week ahead, we see we'll have one more cool day and we will warm up beautifully for the weekend. 61 Saturday, 62 Sunday, hey, 66 by Monday. Great time to go outside. Over to you, Sean.
Thanks a lot, Jenny. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Sean Neidig. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Remember that you can always find the latest news anytime at woub.org. And have a good night, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Be safe out there.